A month doesn't seem like much until you see it laid out in 31 tiny squares. In December, I made this printable calendar as a way to capture everyday impressions and keep a bit of analog drawing in my life. January flew by, but this tiny daily square helped me notice and depict many important and not so important moments of the month that might otherwise have disappeared. So today I want to share what this creative habit actually gave me after 1 month of using it. And the calendar is free. You can find it in the description if you would like to try it too.
Hi and welcome. If you're new here on this channel, I try to keep art in my routine by balancing work, life and everything that comes with it. I'm filming this from Thailand. We're here for about a month, so things look very different from my usual Milan setup. After using the calendar for the past month, I want to talk about what actually changed. What was easy, what felt difficult, and whether it made a real difference.
Before I start talking about January, I want to clarify one thing. I didn't treat this as a strict daily challenge. I was aiming for a sustainable kind of consistency. So sometimes I drew every day, and sometimes only every couple of days, depending on my energy and how it felt in the moment. The first 2 weeks of the month were especially full. I had a couple of days off, and then my dear friend came to visit. We walked a lot, went on small trips, filled the days with conversations, and I was still working during part of the time. Those days felt like a proper stress test for the calendar, because the schedule was packed. It became the first confirmation of my ideal square size theory. I had designed each square to be big enough to hold a meaningful impression, but also small enough not to become a burden in a busy schedule. And during that period, it was easy to find things to draw. There was so much happening. The main challenge was adjusting to the format. I needed a bit of time to understand how much detail I could fit into each square without overwhelming it. Then the weekdays returned and started blending into one blurry memory. When you're living inside a quiet, repetitive routine, it becomes harder to distinguish one day from another. Work, an after-lunch walk, maybe a bit of hobby time and rest. The rhythm was similar. And this is exactly where the calendar became most interesting. Even on days when it felt difficult to fill the square because nothing really happened, the necessity to draw something made me look closer. And after staring at the square for a few quiet minutes, something would eventually appear. It helped me see and appreciate small details that would otherwise pass unnoticed. It turned into a small practice of paying closer attention. On weekends, I had the opposite problem. The square often felt too small. For example, one Saturday we went to St. Moritz in Switzerland. The day was filled with beautiful landscapes and new impressions. It was one of those days that feels too big for a small square. After capturing it in a single square, I felt an urge to go further, to open my sketchbook and slow down with it. But since we were preparing for our trip to Thailand the following week, there simply wasn't enough time. And in that moment, I realized something. The calendar doesn't replace deeper work. It nudges you toward it. It teases you a little, makes you want to go further, to explore other mediums, to give certain days more space. I hope that next time I will be able to follow this impulse and open my sketchbook. I had certain expectations about the stickers. I thought I would use them more often. But in the first part of the month, I barely reached for them. Drawing felt more natural, and I wanted to fill the squares myself. Interestingly, during the last week, when things became more intense, I started using the stickers more. They are a quick way to mark the day without overthinking it. And that's exactly their role. There were moments when I thought I might need more routine-related stickers, since workdays tend to look similar. But maybe it's actually a good limitation. If I had multiple laptop icons or Zoom windows, the calendar would start looking like a spreadsheet. I'd rather keep a little room for imagination. I think it's an important part of the exercise. January ended with intense days of finishing last tasks and packing before our big trip to Thailand. And I could feel that urgency showing up in the drawings during the final week of the month.
Passengers, attention please. According to local quarantine regulations, fresh fruit.
On the last day of January, we were already on our way. So, I ended up filling the final square in February, in a different part of the world. My favorite thing about this calendar is that it doesn't just give me a few minutes of analog drawing. It helps me notice ordinary days more carefully. The month didn't feel as blurry. Small moments felt acknowledged. And maybe that's what a creative habit really is. A gentle way of paying attention.
I'm continuing this drawing practice here in Thailand, and I already see how different it is in the new environment. Observing a new culture and living a slower island life. If you would like to try the calendar, it's free in the description. And if you haven't seen the December video where I explain the idea, you can check it out too, somewhere over here. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you soon.